Hello everybody, welcome to my videos. My name is Jamie from Games. Today we're doing an unboxing video. Okay, it's actually New Year's Eve today. This is a video I should have done about a week ago. I've just changed my streaming setup for the third and hopefully the final time, so it'll be the first video I've done in the new setup. But anyway, this contains my Spectrum Next, which I pledged on the second Kickstarter, which ran 30 days in 2020, right bang in the middle of lockdown. The Kickstarter ran for 30 days, which began on August 11th, 2020, which ended on September 10th, 2020, with a £250,000 goal. It was backed by 5,236 people and reached a grand total of 1,847,106, which is amazing. I wanted to do the first Kickstarter, but unfortunately I was absolutely skint at the time, but I did receive some amazing donations on a stream prior to pledging this second Kickstarter. Without you guys, I would never have been able to buy one. So I'm looking forward to trying this out today. Now I'm going to be truly honest with you, when it comes to the Spectrum, I have had some experience with the Spectrum, but more so in my young days. I don't really know a lot about the Spectrum, so it's going to be quite interesting to find... Knife. I'm always losing this knife. All the time. All the time. Right, knife check. I'm always losing this knife. Now I haven't had a lot of experience with the Spectrum. A few of my friends from school had one in the early 90s. And I did play a couple of games in 2018 at Expo. I played R-Type and RoboCop, which was on keyboards. But anyway, enough chit-chats. We're going to learn a lot today. So there we go, Spectrum is indeed a first of all those games. It's never featured before, but there we go, the ZX Spectrum Next personal computer. Box looks amazing. The ZX Spectrum Next is the evolution of the original Sinclair 8-bit computer that kickstarted a generation of bedroom programmers whose games shaped the way to play to this day. It is fully compatible with the ZX Spectrum, including its younger siblings such as the 128, the Plus 2 and the Plus 3. You can even load your old tapes. I only have a few tapes, a few of them were donated by Rusty James. Hook it up to a modern monitor or TV and get started, rediscover what computing is really about. So there you go, absolutely love it, it's superb. But yes, I have to admit, I am a newbie. I don't know a lot about the system, but we'll do some close-ups. Hook it up to a modern monitor or TV and get started rediscovering what computing is really about. And I give it 10 out of 10 for presentation, it really is good. I love the box, I love the way it's displayed in the box, it is superb, really is well done, really is well designed. Right. Ooh, okay. Right, we've got a choice of plugs. Okay. Holy cow! The size of this book! It took me years to read that. Look at that! Now that is a manual. Look at the size of that. That's incredible. There we go, that's more my sort of thing, but there we go. This is the quick start. Welcome to the brand new ZX Spectrum Next computer. There we go, it looks absolutely outstanding, really is good. But yes, apparently you can plug in a joystick. It's got two 9-pin ports. So I'm hoping, fingers crossed, you can plug in a zip stick. The greatest joystick ever. So there is where your SD card goes in, but what I've also done for this video, like I did with the A500 Mini unboxing video, I also bought myself an extra one with extra games built in. Right, it's got your choice of plugs in there, wherever you are in the world. We'll be going for that one. Bingo. Okay, we're going to fire it up and get some games played if we can figure out how to load them. Okay, welcome to NextZXOS. Now, being fairly new to the system, it's going to be quite gobbledygook for me, but on your first boot, you'll see a test screen which will guide you through the setup for the best possible video modes for your display, which in my case, how to capture it on my PC. Now, your computer will cycle through all of the modes. Losing sync will result in a black screen. I've already done that. There's two ways you can do it. Either let it do its own thing, basically it will keep going on to the next scene to find the right one for you. Or you can press the N key and it'll go on to the next page. Once you've found one which is stable and not flashing like a disco and it's stable like it currently is, you can save it by pressing enter and then confirming it with yes or no. And I'm assuming it's only going to be done once. I'm assuming it will save it for future times. I'm assuming so. But a lot of this, in fact all of this, is new to me. The menu system. After booting, a menu appears. At the top is the current speed of the Next. You've got 3.5, 7, 14 and 28. I'm assuming 28 will go back in time, which can be changed with the left, right arrow keys. Menu options can be highlighted with the up, down arrow keys and selected with enter. And you can also use a joystick to navigate the menus. Well, I've plugged in my ZipStick joystick. Hopefully it's going to work. Your current date and time will be shown if you have a real-time clock module installed, which I'm assuming it does. So on the box, it does actually say in the extras, a real-time clock. So I'm assuming yes. So you press enter to move on to the next page. The browser menu option allows you to view the files on your SD card, as well as renaming them, deleting and copying files to create new directories. Right, the highlight is yellow for unknown file types and cyan for supported ones. Some supported file types are. Now what I'm going to do, I'm going to take some pictures on my phone for future references. Because you never know, I'm probably going to need it again. And being a newbie, this is going to help a lot. Right, so press enter to move on. Browser continues. Right, another one. Yes, I might need these later on. When you first select a tape or TZX file from the browser, you will be presented with several options, including whether you want to pause at the loading screen to simulate a real tape loading experience. Which, of course, I am approving of, because, of course, I love the nostalgia of loading games. Of course, me being a big CC4 fan, I approve of that. I only have a few cassettes, but I don't have a tape deck. Anyway, we'll continue the multi-face. You can press the multi-face button at any time to bring up the special NMI menu. Now, what is the multi-face? Apart from a person who has multiple faces. Right, dot commands, file names in dot commands only need to be surrounded with quotes if they contain spaces or colons. Many ZX Spectrum Next compatibilities, like sprites, palettes, screen modes and extra memory, are also supported with dedicated Next basic commands. There we go, copyright 1982, the year I was born. Now, I have seen a screen similar to this, doesn't necessarily mean I'm going to know a lot about it. So you press B for browser, you press L for command line, N for Next basic, C for calculator, G for guide and M for more. And we've got 1792K, which should be okay for now. Okay, so we have got a few games on this SD card. Now, this is the one that was pre-installed, but I have bought myself another one on backup, which we'll try out later on today. It's got Castlevania, which I assume is a tape file, and Crystal Kingdom Dizzy, which is a disc file as well as a tape file. So let's start off with Castlevania. And we're using the zip stick, which as you can see, worked brilliantly. There you go, playing it for the very first time. This is Castlevania on the Spectrum Next, based on characters and franchise by Konami. Okay, so the game is Castlevania, a gothic horror action-adventure video game series and media franchise about Dracula, created and developed by Konami. It's been released on various platforms from early systems to modern consoles, as well as handheld devices such as mobile phones. The franchise has expanded into several spin-off video games and other media, including comic books and an animated television series. And I'm playing it for the absolute first time on the Spectrum, and even though this came out in 2015, it's still fairly new to me, but I'm absolutely impressed with how it looks and how it plays. I love the fact you can actually use a ZipStick joystick, which of course is my favourite joystick of all time, and there's no lag or delay at all. Every time I go left or right or press the fire button down, it's instant. Now, I have had a few problems trying to capture the sound with the Spectrum Next. I got there eventually, but I have lost quite a lot of hours of my day, but I got there eventually. But yeah, it looks really, really good. And I have played a few previous Castlevania games, including the first game, which I did finish on the NES, and I have played Super Castlevania on the SNES, and I think at some point I might have played the Amiga version. but they're all good in their own ways. Of course, there's so many spin-offs, so many clones and ports, they're all very good. And this one, I'm noticing already from the early stages, it's quite different from the first game. Of course, like the first game, if you hit the candles on the wall to get you additional upgrades and enhancements. Right, so this is actually your first item. This gives you a checkpoint. So you press down to pick it up, and also we've got coins, but no hearts, I'm assuming, in this game. You press H to return back to the game. Now we head back. Okay, going well so far. And I'm assuming you can get upgrades in this game, including the strength and the length of the whip, which of course is something you can do in the first game. You can use the whip in the air, on the ground, and while crouching. Occasional pixel perfect does come into play. Now enemies will only respawn if you go off the screen and return to it. But yes, we've got quite a lot of coins at the moment of time. But yeah, whether you can actually buy anything with it, I'm assuming you can at later stages. But yes, I'm noticing quite a lot of differences. But yes, picking up hearts is not one of those. I'm assuming that one at the top is the energy for a boss battle, I assume. Any items you pick up, including these, which are part of the altar, are located at the top right. I've got 2 of them so far, I've got the red and the blue. 247 coins, and energy is good. And it's a really, really good game. It's fantastic. Off to a good start. I won't play it for too long. I've got so many games to get through today. But that is Castlevania on the Spectrum. There we go. Crystal Kingdom Dizzy. This one I've never played before. Played loads of Dizzy games, but this one passed me by. Welcome to Crystal Kingdom Dizzy. Now what you've got to do in this one, you've got to select your controller, which in my case is a joystick. So you press the enter key, you press 1 for control menu, and we select 2 for the Kempton stick. Then we press enter to start the game. Okay, so the game is Crystal Kingdom Dizzy, an adventure video game featuring the character Dizzy, released in December 1992 by Codemasters. The Oliver twins were heavily involved with the design and the programming of previous Dizzy games, had less involvement with this one. The game was the last title in the core Dizzy game series due to the release of Wonderful Dizzy in 2020. And it cannot go wrong with a little bit of Dizzy. And of course, there's so many games I have played, but the occasional one I've missed, and this one was one I missed. But yes, the first one I played was on the Amiga, was Treasure Island Dizzy. But anyway, what you'll do in this game is, of course, you've got to use specific items, specific objects, and of course, speaking to various people. There's no surprise, really. In a cloud, you find something of high value like a gold coin. You pick that up, you give it to the genie. What do you want now? Here's some money, Mr. Genie. Can you grant me a wish now? My life, what is this you bring me? Gold, gold, I have plenty of gold. Find me something a bit more special and perhaps we can discuss a little bit of business. So you've got to find something a little bit more higher value, like a diamond for example. But yes, take things to certain objects and talk to other people and give items to other people. But of course, these games are very well known for having to pick up a certain quantity of items to get the game to 100%. Anything from coins to gems, pearls, even cherries. We speak to CJ. Hi Dizzy, I'm hungry. Got any peanuts? I do not. Why are you always so hungry, CJ? Well, being a computer games superstar like me is hungry work. So I've got to find some peanuts. We're going to go for the door. You can also jump through the window. Right, Daisy's front room. Shoe pest. Okay, hang on. How come you're playing the game when the generator is off? Batteries. Right, we're going to jump through the window and we're going to pick up another whip in this video. One in Castlevania and one here as well. This one you don't upgrade, but you use it to swing from a tree to get to higher grounds. Now on the right hand side there's actually a generator, and generators in these sort of games never seem to work. And this one's not working either. I've got to try and find a spanner. But there you go, the generator appears to be broken. Without it, the York Fork have no electricity. Okay, outside Denzel's hut. Another fantastic Dizzy game, really is good. One I will definitely go back to in the future. And I'm assuming stars is probably what you're trying to find in this game. But this game also does have a password system. Every time you lose a little bit of energy, you can replenish it by eating certain types of food. There's not much of it around. So we're currently in the clouds. We're trying to look for a screwdriver. We give it to Denzel, who's currently working on some spectacles. You'll swap the screwdriver for the spanner. Eventually, you'll give you the spectacles, and you use the spanner to repair the generator to get the electricity working again. But there we go, fantastic. 4,100 points. We're going to the next. That is Crystal Kingdom Dizzy, which was a remake, I assume, in 2017. Okay, so a week later, I was back at work today after the Christmas break. Now it's currently the 6th of January 2024. Now I haven't played any more Spectrum games or edited any more footage, but we're going to resume play today. Now the biggest problem I've been having is not the actual games themselves, in fact they really are nice and sharp, it's trying to capture the sound. Which is why I've gone on Amazon. I'm going to try out a few experiments by buying additional cables. So the early points of the video, I was trying to capture the footage by basically plugging it directly into the Elgato HDCC Pro. Yes, it was capturing it, but no sound was heard. But yes, plugging in my headphones into audio out, sorry for me, wasn't capturing the sound for the video. So since then, I've been using the HD video converter. I have got 2 of these. One it worked, one it didn't. But yes, it's not as sharp and sound was heard, but the sound was also very low, which is why I've been using a filter on OBS called a gain, which gains more sound, but as a result of that, it does make it a bit echoey at times. So the sound is still the issue, and I want to try and see if I can capture it by using the OSSC. Now the output is no big deal, because of course it's HDMI. The issue is the input, because either it's SCART, it's auxiliary, or it's the VGA. And of course I haven't got any of those for this system. So, if it works, we'll try it. If it doesn't, I'll try something else. But anyway, in the meantime, I've got this cable, which I bought from Amazon about 2 days ago. Okay, so for £7.99, I bought myself a 1.8 metre VGA cable. I'm going to risk it for a biscuit. If it doesn't work, try this. £4.99 was spent on the VGA to HDMI adapter. So 2 possibilities. And last week I even got desperate, I tried this. This is a 2-way HDMI splitter. I've used it to capture PlayStation 3 in the past. It works for the Spectrum Next, but again, no sound was heard. But then of course you do need 2 HDMIs. The Spectrum Next only has 1. So, we're going to fire this up now, and hopefully this is going to work. If it doesn't work, we'll just continue doing it the way I was doing it before. There you go, Warhawk. Copyright 2019 by Rusty Pixels. Which again, doesn't sound overly loud on my headphones, but that is on the maximum setting. This is using the HD video converter. Alright. We'll try it out with and without. Let's see which is best. It looks amazing. Sounds amazing too. Right, I'm going to plug that into the OSSC. Just don't bend the pins, Jamie. Right, that's a start. That is the OSSC testing screen. So the VGA is V3 in, no sync. No sync found. Right, so the VGA did not work with the OSSC. It was out of sync. Okay, so what have we learnt? Cannot use the OSSC, and that is a waste of money. Never mind, we'll use it for something else, but for this, we'll just do it the way we do it before. But anyway, I'm doing it, so you don't have to. Okay, throwing in the towel, we'll do it the old way, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to use the filter. I'm going to use the gain filter, which at the moment of time is on 0. I'm going to increase it to 10.2, there we go. So hopefully that should be louder now. It's not the way I wanted to do it, but it's the way we're going to have to do it. But hopefully it should be louder now. Okay, so the game is Warhawk, a vertically scrolling shooter published in 1986 by Firebird Software. It was released for the Commodore 64, the Atari 8-bit family, and the CPC and the Atari ST. The 8-bit versions of the game were budget priced, released on Firebird's Silver 199 sub-label. Playing it for the absolute first time once again. In fact, I haven't actually played the CD4 version, but I'm probably going to buy that in the future as a physical version. And apparently this also did receive a physical version in the year 2020. Warhawk was remade for the ZX Spectrum, with a version coded by Michael Ware and Jim Bagley, which received a physical version in spring 2020. And what a game it is! Absolutely fantastic. My friend Roger James mentioned this one to me, and he said you're going to like this game. I do like it. It's fantastic. Then I'm going to buy this on the CD4 also. But yes, if you know me very well, and most of you probably do, you know I'm a big shoot 'em up fan, but it's always nice to see games I've never seen before, or never experienced before. Another very good game on the Spectrum Next. Originally of the game was written for the Nintendo DS. While not a complete remake of the original game, it retains the same graphical feel and gameplay mechanics of the original. The project was also involved in Michael Ware from the development team for the 1986 remake. Right, we've got a boss battle. Not a big boss, but it's going to take a lot of hits. Now we do have some icons at the bottom right. I'm assuming that is your energy. But I think you only have 1 life in this game. But there you go, fantastic. What a good game, amazing. Level 1 is completed. Completion bonus, base destroy bonus. I like that. That is good. So we're still using the same SD card. This is the next folder. So I'm assuming the majority of these, or probably all of these, will be games that came out in the last couple of years. Maybe even an occasional demo thrown into the mix. We're going for Revival Survival. So that's the one you want. I'm assuming that is how you save your highest scores. So click on that one. Another game by Rusty Pixels. Revival Survival. This one I have heard of. Help Craig collect retro gear for the next Revival event. Okay, so the game's Revival Survival. Last on the weekend, a summer gaming convention is tough. So what do you do when the games come alive and all hell breaks loose? Grab your trusty zapper, hit the floor, and have a dozen levels of maze chase, jumping, shooting action. Take control of Craig, who must wipe out the road game sprites and attempt to recover the stolen games and save the entire Revival retro event. But yes, this game I've definitely heard of, but this is the first time I've played it. But yes, I'm pretty sure this game was actually made at the event itself. Might be wrong, but I'm not sure. But yes, one of the twins did a similar thing in the year 2023 at Retcon. They created the game in about 4 hours. It was takes some doing, but they did it. But yes, they do get quite a bit of a Pac-Man feel to this one, but like Pac-Man, every time you beat the enemies will resume play in the middle of the screen. But I'm assuming you have a limited supply of ammunition. Will you get more digital weapons? I don't know, but you've got to try and find the stolen game. Well, some of them are actually located in secret areas, like his boots. Do it at the time limit, and he's jumping for joy. Ended up with 1 minute 14 and 3 lives. But another fantastic game, that is Revival and Survival. Okay, so on the side of your Spectrum Net, it's got 3 buttons. One being red, that is the reset button. If you press it once, it does a soft reset. Or use function key F4, and then space and all that malarkey. Or if you hold the button down for 3 seconds, it will do a hard reset. Or function key F1, that basically hitting up a reboot of the system, and it brings up more sets of options. Press spacebar for menu, and C for extra cores. It does its thing, and then back you are at the menu screen. Press spacebar, and there you are. You're good to go. Okay, we'll go for one more game. We'll go for the ZX81, see what's in store there. And then we're going to move over to my brand new SD cards. There's not many on here, but it should be on the SD card. We'll go for Cave 81. Never heard of it before. We'll give it a whirl. There we go, Cave 81, a remake of the Chip 8 cave game for the Sinclair ZX81. This one we do not need joystick, it's keyboard all the way. Q, A, O and P. Okay, so the game is Cave 81, a remake of the classic Chip 8 game called Cave for the Sinclair ZX81 home computer. You must guide a character, a blinking square dot, to the end of the cave without hitting any of the walls. Okay, right is P, left is O, up is Q, and down is A. Don't make contact with the walls and get to the exit door if it has one. Now at this one, no option for joystick at all, it's keyboard all the way. So, how many levels it's got, I have no idea, maybe 81. Apparently this game, this version, has some extras to the original game. It has new caves, 1 life or 3 life selection, and game speed selections. Right, we'll do one more. Get around this difficult bend, and we'll fire up the SD card, which I bought on eBay. Bingo! Have some of that. Where we get up the top though, I don't know, but it's probably the quietest game I've ever played. But there we go, that's Cave 81. Right, even though it's a very small packet, it's wrapped it very, very well. But yes, hopefully in here is what it needs. And hopefully it's going to work. I've already given the seller positive feedback. Right, but yeah, I did a similar thing to this to my 800 mini unboxing video. Right, superb. So we've got the small SD card and the SD card adapter. And also, additional bonus, this is a little Spectrum sticker, which I'll put on later on. Right, so take that one out and put that one in. Right, that should be working now, and it's not just a simple plug and play. So what I've done is I basically just copied one SIM card to the other. And that should do it now. Maybe sort it out in the future. So I'm sure there's probably an easier way of doing it, but I've just made a simple copy from one to the other. I put it into games, I put extra card folder, and I just put it in there. That's basically how it was sold to me. But yes, in the future I'll go through it again and try and sort of put them into separate files, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, etc, etc, just to make it a bit more easier to use. I mean, it's a bit of a strange... I mean, this is going to take forever, isn't it? Okay, just spent the last 2.5 hours going through the SD card and basically making it a little bit more easier to use, a bit more organised. So, extra cards, and yes, I've now put them into alphabetical order, so I've blended them all into one folder, rather than have so many. So now, the world is my oyster. What should we go for? I don't know, there's so many games to go through. It still does need a bit of work, but it's so much better than it was before. So now you press left to do a page up, right to do a page down. Right, my lord, what do I go for? Okay, there's so many games I want to try out, but for a starting point, we'll fire up RoboCop. I did play it in 2018, but unfortunately when I played it, I had no sound at all. There you go, fire it immediately, no hesitation. It's a fantastic game, but yeah, I've played it once in 2018 at an expo, and that was on keyboards. But now we should be able to use the zip stick. So press 3, it will select the Kempson, and there we go.
Serve the public trust. Protect the innocent. Uphold the law.
That's the first time I've heard speech on a Spectrum game. That's amazing. Okay, so the game is RoboCop, a beat-em-up run-and-gun video game developed and published by Data East for arcades in 1988, based on a 1987 film of the same name. It was sub-licensed by Data East by Ocean Software, who obtained the rights for Orion Pictures at the script stage. Data Ease and Ocean Software subsequently adapted the arcade game for home computers. And it's absolutely fantastic. It's nice to play it properly now. Of course, when I played it in 2018, it was at an event, and I didn't have any sound, but I did have to use a keyboard, which I have to admit was a bit of a struggle, but I think I did pass the first level. There's not actually many versions that I played. Of course, the first version I played was the Amiga, followed by the CC4 version, and of course, yes, I have played the arcade. But I think this is the only one I know that does have additional lives. CC4 version has one, Amiga has one. But all games, I think, have limited bullets. And yeah, this one, you've got to be quite careful with your ammunition. But yes, you can also attack enemies with a punch, but it's best to use bullets. But some bullets, of course, are much, much stronger than others. We can also replenish energy along the way. But this one is fantastic. So hopefully, one bullet should go through multiple enemies. So this is the perfect opportunity to save your ammunition and hopefully get some more additional energy. Now, picking up some energy won't replenish all of it, it'll just replenish a little bit of it. But a really, really good game. It's fantastic. Great to play it with a zip-stick joystick. That's probably the thing I'm improving the most with this Spectrum Next. I'm not a fan of playing games with keyboard. Unless it's a game where you have to play keyboard, like a pinball game, for example, then yes, understandable. But for a shoot 'em up or a side-scrolling platformer, it's best to use a joystick. But yeah, look at that. Through butter. Brilliantly. Brilliant. Really is good. Sound is great too. But yes, I'm assuming by that box size at the bottom right hand corner, I'm assuming you can get more than just 2 lives. But that I do approve of. Brilliant. That is so good. And the speech is great too. There we go. Barbarian. Copyright Palace Software 1987. Again, a version I've never seen before. Played it mostly on the CD4 and the Amiga. But how does it play on the Spectrum? Right, one player. Of course, select the joystick, which it does. It gives you the option, the Kempson joystick. Okay, so the game is Barbarian Ultimate Warrior, 1987 video game, developed and published by Palace Software for the Amstrad CPC, Commodore 64 and ZX Spectrum. The game is ported to other systems, licensed to Outtakes, who published the game as Death Sword in the United States. In single player mode, the player's Barbarian braves a serious challenge to set by an evil wizard to rescue a princess. And there she is. This is only the 3rd version I've played. The first one I saw and played was in 1988 on the CD4. It was also the first ever game I saw where you actually can decapitate your opponents, which is quite difficult to do in this one. Even in the early stages, quite difficult to do. But the biggest change I'm seeing in this one is, of course, the change in energy. Other version got 6, and this one got 3. But also, I think each block takes actually 4 hits rather than 2. But another nice version. Quite quiet, but I suppose all the other versions were as well. Now that was very near an awesome combo. Right. Yeah, it's very difficult to decapitate their heads on this one. Really is difficult. There we go. Fantastic. 3,850. But there we go. That is Barbarian on the Spectrum Next. There we go. Why not? Live it CJ's Elephant Antics. Played it mostly on the Amiga and the CC4. Never seen this version before. Okay, so the game is CJ's Elephant Antics, a platform game developed by Genesis for the CC4. Conversions made to Amiga, Atari ST, ZX Spectrum and the NES. All ports were handled by Genesis, with the exception of the ZX Spectrum port that was handled by Big Red Software. The computer versions were published by Codemasters in 1901, with the NES game arrived in 1902 as part of the unlicensed compilation cartridge Quattro Arcade. The player controls a baby elephant known as Columbus Jumbo on his way home to Africa. Now it's very difficult to read while doing it. Another fantastic game, really is good. Only the 3rd version I've played. Also the first version I've played that has sound effects. But as a result, no additional music. But yes, I am missing the music on the C4 version by Ashley Hogg and the Alice Brimble music on the Amiga. But it's still a nice version. But your projectiles are a little bit slower on this one. But anyway, like Super Frog, there's spikes all over the place. But your character is equipped with an umbrella. But you do have a limited supply of peanuts, but you do not have a limited supply of bombs. The occasional enemy will leave items behind, anything from bombs to a invincibility pill, a cupcake, which is basically additional life, and also bananas, with basically points. But yes, the invincibility pill basically makes you immune to attacks for only a short amount of time. And a game like as difficult as this, you need as much as you can get hold of. But you don't get as many items in this version as you do in other versions. But the frogs are the absolute worst in this game. And they can actually jump through the platforms, which you can't fire through the platform. You can jump through the platforms. Whether it protects you, I don't know. But yes, the spikes are difficult. They are, but a bit more easier on this one than the C4 version. But I've always preferred the CC4 version. But you do have a boss battle at the end of it. But you're starting the game off with 9 lives is very generous. I'm really approving of that. Right, boss battle. Now you've got to try and defeat this boss with very, very few and slow-moving projectiles. But He also does have the same projectiles as I do, and again at the same speeds. But not too bad. Got 44 bombs and 8 lives. Not too bad at all. But yes, having 9 at the starting point is a really, really good thing. I approve of that. And I'm very pleased this game has no time limit. Unfortunately, there's no energy bar, but there we go. The map confirms it. Now, in other versions, you do get a bonus stage in between levels. Do you get it on this one? 3,188. We go to Swiss. Nope, we don't have a bonus stage. But there we go. That is a fantastic game. Really is good. CJ's Elephant Antics. There we go. Why not? A bit of Pang. Another version I've never seen before, but the Amiga version for me is the ultimate version. But this one by Arc Developments. Okay, so the game is Pang, originally released in Japan as Poppin' World, also known in North America as Buster Brothers. It's a 1989 action game released by Mitchell Corporation for arcades in 1989. It's the 10th game released for Capcom's CP System arcade hardware. The basic gameplay is identical to that of the much earlier 1983 Japanese MSX game called Cannonball, also released on ZX Spectrum as Bubble Buster. Cannonball was made by Japanese publishers Hudson Soft and was licensed to Mitchell Corporation 6 years later to make Pang. Conversions all titled Pang were released across Europe by Ocean Software in 1990 for the ZX Spectrum, CC4, and CPC, Amiga and Atari ST. My lord, looks like a level in Alien Breed. Warning, destruction imminent. Of course, I haven't played many versions, but the Amiga version is the ultimate. The weakest one for me is the CC4 version. I do like it though, but the projectiles are very slow, and also the bounce from the bubbles, especially in the lower planes of the stage, are difficult to maintain. But there we go, it's another nice version. Yes, your projectiles are quite slow, but not as slow as the C4 version. And it's nice to have some music on this one. There we go, fantastic. So like CJ's Elephant Antics, each level takes place in another country. Each country is broken down into 3 stages. I've noticed also only 1 difficulty on this version. Also, the weapons are not randomised like other versions. Every time you shoot a specific bubble, whatever weapon you get is going to be the same every time you play it. It's not a bad thing, of course, but I think all weapons do feature. The only ones I haven't seen, in terms of objects I haven't seen so far, is the hourglass, which slows the bubbles down, and I haven't seen the dynamite either, which basically turns all bubbles into the smallest one. But the Vulcan missile, which of course I'm not a fan of, does have its advantages, but of course, yes, it can shoot very fast, but it will not break breakable bricks. And some levels in other versions you do earn additional lives by shooting all the breakable bricks. I'm assuming this version you don't, but also I think 4 is the maximum life you can hold. But that is what you start the game off with. It's a nice version, it really is good. And yes, having music does make games a lot nicer to play. And there's been quite a few for this video that doesn't have any music. But anyway, each stage has a different background. So of course this one takes place during the day, which is why it's red like a red alert situation. That stops all balloons or bubbles to the spot, and you can't be killed by them either. But you can't fire as much, as quickly, but it works. There you go. Right, is Shadow the Beast on the Spectrum? I don't know. It is! Oh, it's a demo. Well, it's better than nothing. Right, Shadow of the Beast, or Beast in this case. Stop the tape and press fire. Copyright Gremlin Graphics 1990. But this is a demo apparently. A demonstration is a sample of the first level of a stunning game. Oh, it's a rolling demo. No wonder I couldn't play it. I was pressing every button under the sun. Nothing was working. No sound effects. No music. But yeah, this is actually playing itself. I don't know if you can actually play it at all. I think it's just a rolling demo. And you are going the wrong way, I might add. So you should go to the tree first. Yeah. It's weird seeing, in this case, a Shadow Beast game with no sound. So you have 12 blocks of energy. Yes. Not 25 like the CG4 version, but I do like the CG4 version. I think it's really good. It's not the best. It never will be the best. The Amiga version is the best. Is Synapse on the Spectrum? It is. 1987 Houston Consultants. Give that a try. There we go, Synapse. Do you have it on the Amiga and the CD4? Look at that. Going straight through it. That's what you get if you have a green box. There we go. Houston Consultants. Copyright 1987. Okay, so the game, this is Synapse, a side-scrolling shooter published by Houston Consultants, the ZX Spectrum, Amstrad CPC and the CC4, released in 1987, and for Atari ST and Amiga in 1988. It was authorised by Dominic Robinson, John Cumming and Stephen Crow. with the music done by Steve Turner. The graphics for the Atari ST and Amiga version done by Pete Leon. And another good version, but I'm pretty sure I have played this one back in the day. I'm sure I have. All my friends did have a Spectrum. He didn't have many games, but I definitely did play a few games around his house. And I think this might be one of them. But yeah, memory's a bit of a blur at the moment in time. But also, I've learned something today by reading the instruction manual. But your craft is called the MK1 Scorpion Attack Fighter. Your craft is supplied with a wide range of sophisticated equipment and weaponry powered by an internally mounted fuel scoop, which basically has 4 levels. The first level is of course the slowest, it's good for confined spaces, and of course the fastest one is good for outer space. You do get the occasional boss battle thrown into the mix, but yes, all your weapons do downgrade, including your speed and your rate of fire. But another fantastic game, really is good, performing well on the Spectrum Next. No in-game music, no big deal, the other ones didn't either, but you can also upgrade some weapons to a maximum of 2. You've got the pulse lasers, the plasma bombs, the homing missile and the seeker missiles, which also do downgrade over time. Boss battles are bigger in size than other versions, but that's not too bad at all. There you go. Superb. Okay, the time has come. We all know what time it is now. Gumjo says so. Yes, it should be here. There it is. R-Type 1988 Electric Dreams. We're going to play it. I did play it in 2018. Stop tape and press a key. Right, there you go. Blast off and strike the evil Bio Empire. Now, I have played this 2018 when I played it. It was keyboard, no sound effects was heard. I still enjoyed it. But hopefully now we can use this. Okay, so the game is R-Type, a horror-scrolling shooter, developed and released by IBM in 1987 and the first game in the R-Type series. The player controls the R9 Arrowhead. Its efforts to destroy the Bido, a powerful alien race bent on wiping out all of mankind. The R9 can acquire a glowing orbital device called a Force, protect it from enemy fire and provide additional firepower of its own. The arcade version was distributed by Nintendo in North America and was the last arcade title Nintendo distributed. And what a game it is! It's superb! Here it is! I can finally play it on the Spectrum and I'm hearing the sound effects also for the very first time. No in-game music, no big deal, it's a fantastic game, it really is good. And it's performing very well, and it's great to play this game with a zip stick. When I first played it in 2018, I think I did get past the first level, maybe the second, I can't remember, but I had no sound. And yes, having to use keyboard, I think it's probably well known. More people probably do it with joysticks, but me, I prefer joysticks. And yes, it's very responsive, I cannot fault it. Every time you fly around and press that fire button, and you detach the force by using the spacebar, it's absolutely instant. But yes, it's a very colourful port, isn't it? But you do start off with 5 lives, instead of the usual 2, but I don't think you have any continues in this version. But yes, it is quite a slow scrolling level, this one. Level is normally done in about a couple of minutes, but it's no big deal. It takes longer to do, more time to play it. R-Type was commercially successful and celebrated by critics for its graphics and addictive gameplay, but was criticised for its difficulty. It is commonly cited as one of the best shoot-'em-up video games and one of the greatest video games of all time. It succeeds, inspired several spin-offs and sequels and home ports and releases for digital distribution services. A remake of the game was released at R-Type DX for the Game Boy Color in 2000. A 3D remake, R-Type Dimensions, was released for Xbox 360 in 2009 and PlayStation 3 in 2014. Nintendo Switch and PlayStation 4 and Windows in 2018 and iOS in 2019. And of course, there are so many other versions than that. But yeah, this is by far my favourite version on the Spectrum. Or my favourite game on the Spectrum is what I meant to say. But of course, we have still got a boss battle to contend with. Now, if you do die, of course, you lose everything, including the kitchen sink. But yes, you've got to try and get all that back again, which can take some time. And of course, it's a big game changer if you lose your force, especially in a very difficult situation. Okay, the first boss, which of course is the Docteratop. This powerful half-creature, half-weapon is a combination of electrolytes and biological technology. It guards the entrance to another dimension opened up by a destroyed space colony. And the only version where I don't defeat it in the same way I normally do is the CG4 version. I'm going to try and attack it with the force like I normally would do, but I've got to try and get into the right location. But eventually, taking too long will mean it will start to move forwards. But you've got to get it absolutely perfect. And of course, the force will move with your movements. It should do. It's not going to be oh, I don't know. It's going to be close. It's going to be close. Just skin of teeth territory. But there we go. Amazing. Love it. Brilliant. Cannot fault it. Yeah, I think it's dead. Yeah, that is the Dopplerotop, which has featured in quite a few future games, including R-Type 2, Super R-Type, and R-Type 3, the third Lightning, and of course any additional ones for modern systems. Right, start tape and press a key. J. And I think it's crashed, so in the future I have to try and get myself a much, much better version. But there we go, I'm absolutely tickled with that. That is R-Type. There we go, Silkworm, amazing game on the Amiga. Haven't played many versions, but this is a version I didn't realise existed. Now, I've done a little bit of investigation. I can't seem to figure out if there is actually a way of playing this game as one player. I think 2-player is by default. So we're going to go for the Kempson stick for 1 player, and you could do the same for both players, control both of them at the same time, but we'll just let Jeep just take its course. If he dies, he dies, he survives, he survives. But there we go, we'll give it a whirl, 1988 by Tecmo Limited. Okay, so the game, this is Silkworm, a horizontal scrolling shooter developed by Tecmo and first released in arcades in 1988. In 1989, it was ported to the Amiga, Atari ST, CG4, ZX Spectrum, and CBC, as well as the NES by Sales Curve, and was released by Virgin Mastertronic. Silkworm inspired the game Swift. It's not a direct sequel, it followed the same core gameplay design with the helicopter Jeep team. Silkworm was released at a time where side-scrolling shooters was among the most popular genres. It was released at the same time as Forgotten Worlds, Zanzian, and Mr. Heli, and DNA Warrior. The Spectrum version took 3 months to develop, and was converted from the Amiga version, which was almost identical to the original. The game reached number 3 in the UK Spectrum sales chart behind RoboCop and Dragon Ninja. Again, absolutely brilliant. Of course, the Amiga version is better, and the CG version was very good as well, but this is also a very, very good port. A port I didn't actually realise existed. But it's strange, I don't think you can actually play this game as 1 player. I mean, technically I am, but yes, unfortunately the Jeep is there, not doing anything. But yes, there is a way we get to control both of them at the same time by selecting the port and using both the Kempson stick in this case. And you can control both of them. Is that cheating? It probably is, I expect. But anyway, you do start the game off with 3 helicopters or 3 Jeeps. Amazingly, I think it's only died once. Anyway, flash screen warnings, all you people that can't handle that sort of thing. I do warn you right now. Turn away if you can't watch this. But yeah, it does flash quite a lot here. But it looks so good. Plays so well. And yes, no in-game music. But again, it doesn't have it in the Amiga version either. But it does have title screen music, and it's very well done. This is a really good game. This is so good. Amazingly, the Jeep only died once. So yeah, it's really good. Oh, now that is interesting. No tank boss. Only the helicopter bosses. That's really interesting. You can't make him angry because he's not in this game to get angry. There you go. Well, amazingly, this is Wave 5. The Jeep is still intact. We haven't got continues, I don't think. But the game itself, it's certainly a much, much easier version. Certainly a lot more easier than the Amiga version and the CD4 version. And it is better than the arcade version, personally. It is very, very well done. This might even lead to a completion, maybe. But the Jeep is now out of there. Wave 11. However, I've got no more lives remaining. That is it. I'm out. There you go. Fantastic. I've officially finished my first game on the Spectrum, and also it's the first completion of 2024. It's the same bosses throughout the entire waves. All Wave 11 is the same boss. There we go, why not? Copyright 1989 by DC Comics, fans of the game on Amiga. This is Batman the Movie. Okay, so the game, this is Batman, also known as Batman the Movie, an action video game developed and published by Open Software based on the 1989 film of the same name. The game was released on September 11th, 1989 for the C64 and the ZX Spectrum, with Amiga and the CBC, Atari ST, MSX and MS-DOS versions following soon afterwards. The game consists of 5 levels based on the events of the film. Each stage has a time limit and a health gauge represented by an image of Batman's face, turning it into the Joker's. With the Batman losing a life, he runs out of either. The levels have varying gameplay. Another absolutely fantastic version. It really is good. The Amiga version, of course, I've played to absolute death, finished it so many times. The CD4 version I do like as well. That one I have not finished. But this is also really, really, really good. Of course, the Spectrum does have limited colours, but sometimes it's not about how it looks, it's about how it plays. It plays so well, it's so good. The sound is good, the music's good, the animations are good, the level designs are good. The game is great, it's superb. A little bit more challenging because the enemies are a lot more faster on this one. But of course, they've always been very accurate, especially the grenade people. But yes, the gun people do fire quite quickly. You can fire up, you can fire down, and you can also fire while crouching. You've got the drips, and also you've got the acid spills and the gas. It's very, very well done. Start the game off with 2 lives, can't earn more through score, and of course you do have a time limit. Really good. The game was #1 in Spectrum charts in February 1990 and received Game of the Year in Crash Magazine. Computer Gaming World recommended the new version to Action Fans, but reported that the CD4 version was too buggy, but was well received by Commodore Format magazines and was seen as one of the best movie tie-in games released for the platform. Right, going well so far. Energy is a little bit low, but time limit is fading away quickly. It's very rare I do run out of time in this game. But I'm finding my way around okay in this game. You can use the ladders, but it's very rare I do use the ladders to look through the floor. Right, energy is critical. Really bad now. Right, swing to the other side. Of course, you can kill enemies by landing on their heads. Right, 2 minutes 45 remain. Peekaboo, I see you. Right. Right, it should be up here. It's very rare the time limit is this low, but I have been trying to read at the same time. So up there should be Jack Napier. 2 minutes. There you go. Fantastic. What a good game. Amazing. Jack Napier's dead. The Joker lives. Didn't say that bit though, but there we go. On to level 2. That is the Batmobile. But there we go. That's Batman the movie. Okay, one more game, and we'll go on to some new games again. But anyway, this is Exelon, copyright 1987 by Houston Consultants. Again, it gives you the option, we go for 5, the Kempton stick, and we press 1. Okay, so the game is Exelon, a run and gun game programmed by Rafael Seco and published by Houston Consultants in 1987 for the ZX Spectrum, Commodore 64 and the Amstrad CPC, was later converted to the Enterprise 128, Amiga and Atari ST. The player takes control of a futuristic soldier named Victork, across several flip-screen levels of gameplay. The screens that make up these levels are filled with various generic aliens as well as gun placements, homing missiles, landmines and other hazards. The soldier can defend himself with both a gun and a rocket-propelled grenade, 2 different weapons that are effective against other additional enemies. Again, very difficult to read while doing it. I'm certain, like Zynad, I also did play this back in the day on the ZX Spectrum. I can't remember what friend had it, but I'm sure one did have it. And like the CD4 version, this is also a very, very good version. In fact, I will put those two pretty much at level pegging. Both brutal. The Amiga version was okay. That's all I'm going to say. It was okay. It wasn't great. But the CD4 version and this version are both great fun to play. But both are difficult. But anyway, I have got to level 2, I think, on a number of occasions, but I haven't got much further than that. The problem is you do have limited ammunition, which I always forget about that. But you can also get more ammunition and grenades along the way. And occasional upgrades do feature as well. But yes, it's difficult. It is always difficult. Now these were actually deactivate the missile. I didn't actually mean to do that. But anyway, once deactivated, then the missiles will stop. Now apparently this pod, there's 1 per stage, and yes, the first time I saw it back in the day, I didn't know what I was actually supposed to do. I tried shooting it, I tried blowing it up. But yeah, I just walked straight through it. But apparently, and yeah, it took me quite a few years to realise, what you're supposed to do is upgrade your armour and your ammunition. Basically, it upgrades your gun. You stand in it and you press up. And that was a real game changer, but for quite a number of years I was just walking straight past it. I had no idea you're supposed to equip it. But apparently, if you don't upgrade it and you finish the stage, you do actually get a bonus score. And that I also didn't know. Still a difficult game though, still your ammunition is limited, but it certainly does help. But there we go, it's brilliant. One day maybe I'll finish it, I'm not sure, but it's a great version. This is Exelon on the Spectrum Next. Okay, for the closing points of this video now, go back to some new games now. I've just bought this one online, of course it's based on the original game, it came out in 1985, I do have it here on the CD4, this is Way of Exploding Fist, the remake. Okay, so the game, this is Way of Exploding Fist. In cooperation with Spec Next Limited, WAF Studio is bringing back to your screens the 1985 classic martial arts game, Way of Exploding Fists. While maintaining its original gameplay and fascinating moves, multiple enhancements have been incorporated in this new incarnation. And it looks absolutely superb. It pretty much plays the same way as the original, the same moves, the same rules, but of course with additional enhancements in terms of graphics and sounds. And they've done an absolutely tremendous job of it, it really is good. Way of Exploding Fist is originally a 1985 fighting game based on Japanese martial arts, developed by Beam Software, originally developed for the Commodore 64 and published in May 1995 by Melbourne House. Ports were made to the Amstrad CPC, ZX Spectrum, BBC Micro, Acorn Electron and the Commodore 16. and it looks absolutely tip-top. Really is good. And of course, you get half a yin-yang depending on what tag you do. Always a good successful hit, and assuming down to speed as well, you could get a full yin-yang. 2 full yin-yangs, based on the time limit, and you move on to the next confrontation. If there is actually a time limit running out situation, it all depends on who's got the highest yin-yangs. If it's still a draw, I'm assuming who gets the first point. And of course, like International Karate Plus, you also do go up in belts. So the moment of time will come in orange. And yes, we go up to blue belt now. But yes, it will tell you at the top of the screen how we are doing. Back in the day, I got quite far a few times on the visual game. I think 7th Dan at one time. You know, kick to the ear hole. 1 full yin-yang awarded. But yes, you have 30 seconds per fight, which I suppose isn't much really, but you can win quite easily or lose quite easy. It's one of those sort of games. There you go, kick to the ear, 1 full yin-yang, so now it's even Steven. But yes, apparently this was for the first Kickstarter, and I couldn't find it on my SD card, even though it's actually advertised on the back of the box. It's a bit of a mystery, but it's good. Now, I have had quite a lot of problems trying to capture the sound for this video. I don't know if it's the PC, I don't think it's the streaming setup, I don't think it's OBS. I think it's the fact that I've got that filter set up too high, but I had to because the footage was so quiet. I think that's probably why there's been quite a few issues with sound, like the blipping for example, which has also been affecting the microphone as well. It's a bit of a mystery, but hopefully it's not been too bad. And that's a win for white. We've got up belt 1 more. Was green, now we're brown I think. There we go. Well, this is going extremely well. We're currently at 9th Dan. I'm just beating my high score. But I haven't got the high score. Not yet. We're very close though. 1 more win should do it. My lord, close but no cigar. There we go, we've done it. Woohoo! Brilliant. 9th Dan. There he goes. I do wonder if 9th Dan is the highest you can go. We've been on 9th Dan for quite some time, but yeah, definitely annihilated, completely obliterated my previous score. And that's the question of how far can I go? But I'm assuming 9th is the highest. I just don't know. There we go. Absolutely delighted with that. 9th Dan, top spot. Brilliant. We're exploding fist. Okay, coming 1:30 in the morning. I know I'm crazy. Do 1 more game. This is also a Kickstarter 2 extra. Rusty James did mention this one to me. This is Night Night. And after that, I'm going to get some Night Night. But I have been editing this video as I've been going. But hopefully it's not going to be too bad in terms of sound when the video goes public. But there we go. Another fairly newish game. Playing it for the absolute first time on the Spectrum Next. Okay, so the game is Night Night. Sir Bernard is cursed. The only way he gets a well-earned sleep at night is by taking a long walk, which is not easy when you live in an enchanted castle. Help the old knight to break the curse and gets a well-earned sleep by walking around the castle while avoiding all the hostile creatures that inhabit the walls of Scarkeep. The full game has 80 levels. It's based on the 2019 game for the MSX created by Jan J. Martinez. And when I see this game, I get vibes from Carve Up, one of my favourite games by Core Design on Amiga, and Dick Hall's Wonderland, and dare I say, Mr. Roger James, even Mr. Blobby. You've got to go around all the platforms and turn it from bad to good. In this case, go from grey to yellow. Okay, arrive at stage 3, final stage, but end of the video. But like before, you run over the platforms, turn it from one colour to the next. Once the final one's been changed, the key will appear on screen. It could be anywhere on screen. Pick it up and take the exit door. Anytime you don't use, you then convert it into points. Every so often, an icon will appear, anything from a jewel to a crystal or even an hourglass. Pick it up will replenish your time, which is good for a game that has a time limit. You can jump up the screen, but unfortunately you can't jump down a platform. But there we go, there's the key. Pick up the key. And we just did that with nick of time without getting hit by an arrow in the process. Get to the exit door, and you move on. And that is the end of my video. That is Night Night. Okay everybody, it's more enough footage of my unboxing video for the ZX Spectrum Next. I'm absolutely tickled pink with my purchase. Still a lot of things I need to know, still a lot of things I need to learn, and still a lot of things I need to try and sort out, including the sound issue, which is still in place. But of course, when I'm playing games normally, it's no problem. It's only when I'm trying to capture it. But anyway, trying to adapt to my new streaming setup, and also I have to be using my old green screen to my new one on Rise, which literally just turned up, and also, we've got some snow outside. Anyway, got to go to work in half an hour's time. It's Jamie from Morning's Games. Please like and comment. You can find me on most platforms, like Morning's Games, you find it fairly easily. And lots of videos like this, do retro long person cheats, have ever making, and live streams every Friday night, you get time of 8 o'clock, it's highlight of my week. And since I'm TG, ciao, bye, see ya. Right, I can't hear anything at the moment. Now, whether you're supposed to, I don't know. Okay, so the game is Crystal Kingdom Dizzy. It's an adventure video game featuring the character Dizzy, released in December 1992 by Crystal Creators. So in this version, some features have been added to the visual game. New K is 1 or 3 life selection and game speed selection. Jamie, not paying attention, you pillock. It's actually an episode of EastEnders. Down. Up. Yes! Bingo! Nice. Okay, so the game is Barbarian the Ultimate Warrior. It's a 1987 video game published and developed by Palace Software for the Amstrad CPC, Commodore 64 and Amstrad... So that's twice. Nah. Okay, so the game is Barbarian the Ultimate Warrior. It's a 1987 video game developed and published by Palace Software for the Amstrad CPC, Commodore 64 and it's Select Spectrum, Jamie, the system you're playing it on. The computer versions of the game were published by Welcome to August Games. Hello, everybody. Fantastic. The computer versions were published by Codemasters in 1901, with a NES game arrived in 1902 as part of the unlicensed compilation cartridge. Oh. Way! Test 1, 2, 3. I don't know why I'm firing, Jamie. You can't shoot these things. You know that. This game is no introduction. This is the greatest game ever made. Doesn't matter where. Hello. Thank you for subscribing. JMW48. Welcome. Appreciate that. Thank you. Where does he get those wonderful toys? There you go. Kempson, Sinclair. You messed that up, Jimmy, did you? Okay, so the game is Batman, also known as Batman the Movie. It's an action video game developed and published by Ocean Software, based on the 1989 film of the same name. It was released on September 11th, 2000 and... No, 1989, Jamie. I've never seen this before. Never seen that before. Do you know what you're supposed to do? You can't blow it up. What are you supposed to do with it? I'm not sure. Never mind. We've got a high score. There you go. Top of the pile. Brilliant.